And welcome back to the Spoiler Kings again. Brian the Grizz here, now with Tank Kramer. We got Brandman Brandon, and Zach Attacks is back, guys. Zach Attack is here.
Hey, guys.
All right, so we're going to do another classic review. As I say, October, you know what we're doing. It's all horror movies month. We're going to keep it going with another one, The Crow. We'll throw it to Tank to go ahead and read the synopsis.
Cool. So this one, The Crow, it's the night before his wedding. Musician Eric Draven, which was Brandon Lee, and his fiancée are brutally murdered by members of a violent inner city gang. On the anniversary of their death, Eric rises from the grave and assumes the gothic mantle of the Crow, a supernatural avenger, tracking down the thugs responsible for the crimes and mercilessly murdering them. Eric eventually confronts head gangster Top Dollar, which is played by Michael Wincott, to complete his mission. So there you go. It came out in what year? 1994.
94.
Yeah.
What do you remember most about The Crow?
The guitar, him playing the guitar on the roof, and it's just such a. It's not a scary movie.
It's not.
It's definitely a good action pack, but it's definitely a Halloween movie.
Definitely a Halloween movie. Hell, it takes place on Halloween, aka Devil's Night, that they call it in the context of the movie.
Yeah,
and it has horror aspects sprinkled throughout.
Definitely some eerie, obviously supernatural aspects to the movie. I'd say the thing that stands out the most to me was the look of the title character, the iconic makeup, the black and white makeup.
Yeah.
I'd say was the thing. We're so used to, and it was my first real exposure to a lot more like darker comic content. As a young kid, and not all the heroes are heroic. Some of them are anti-heroes. Not all of them wear tights and capes. Some of them have stringy long hair and white and black and white makeup on their faces.
Yeah.
I liked that it really throws you right into the supernatural, surrealistic elements. The opening narration by Sarah, sometimes a crow can bring someone back to life if something so bad happened to them. Boom, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Obviously the
No, I was gonna say part of this movie, it was a very good movie, but part of it is the fact that Brandon Lee died.
Yeah, like I was going to say, the specter of Brandon Lee really hangs over the movie.
Yeah, but think about even what you just said. Sometimes a crow brings someone back. That really hangs in. I remember hearing that, and I was like, "Wow, you really think that's a good time to be putting that in there right now? Is this too soon?" Like this might be a little bit too soon to be saying this. And I don't. It's very dark and very gritty and a cool movie, especially for the times. I feel like grunge and all this stuff is very much that era.
Very, very stylistic too, in terms of like the use of, just even from a technical standpoint, like the use of miniatures. Kind of how a lot of the action sequences were filmed. It's got like this really. I remember at the time, just like some of the scenes of him kind of like perched on roofs and stuff like that. Just the whole look of Detroit. It was almost like an alternate, like even more messed up version of Detroit. I love how it was like nighttime there.
More messed up than Detroit. Have you been to
Detroit? It's been a long time. I'm not in a rush to go back.
They don't have water.
But it was almost, when I say that, it's like a very like stylized kind of gothic, or even more gothic version of the Detroit that we know. I love how stylized the movie was in that regard. I love how and it's really too bad that Brandon Lee passed before this movie came out, because this was really, really gonna open a lot more doors for him career-wise. This was gonna change things for him in a monumental way. So it's really too bad that happened, and I'm not even really 100% on board with them remaking it or rebooting it or whatever this is going to be whenever this comes out. it was inevitable to it was inevitably going to happen because they've been trying to make it for years and years and years. We were just talking about how Jason Momoa was almost the new version of Eric Draven. They went through a ton of actors trying to get this off the ground. Bradley Cooper, Tom Hiddleston, like we said, Jason Momoa. A multitude of directors.
It's hard. I mean, it's hard trying to do these things. It's hard to try to make these things. Zach, what do you think about the movie?
I love this movie a lot. This movie opened up me to indie comics. It opened up me to anti-heroes because before it was just Spider-Man, Superman. I didn't really like Batman that much, which surprisingly at the time. But like he's saying, like I know. I said at the time it was 94.
No. There's a whole nother conversation we don't want to get in yet.
Oh, and okay. I got you. That's a whole episode. And like Brandon's saying, like the Gothic look, it was like what Gotham should have been. You know, like how Gothic should look. And the perching on the thing like a gargoyle. That's what Batman is. He's supposed to be a gargoyle that watching over the city. You're scared because he might strike it. That's what The Crow was. And that movie couldn't come out at any time other than the time it came out because it encapsulated all of 1994. The grunge, the emo, the bright lights, the action. Everybody was just like, we want violence at that time. 9 Inch Nails was on the soundtrack. You know, like there's so much. Dope music that was in there, and it was just and then it also affected so many different things because of the style, like The Matrix with the heavy leather. Blade with that heavy leather, and the fact that you could do Blade because The Crow was so dope. And another thing is the face scan for the villain that affect movies too, because it's one of the first movies to do it. And now we got Thanos and all these different things that look so lifelike. So not only was the movie awesome, it affects so many other things that I love.
That's
fun.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is slightly off topic. I want to give a shout out to my boy Tony. He was the one who suggested that we should review this movie. I was telling him we were doing this Halloween stuff all month. My boy Tony, if you're watching, if you happen to be watching this later, this is for you, buddy. I've known this kid since I was a teenager. We went to summer camp together. This one's for you, buddy. Just wanted to say that.
Tony!
Yeah. Shout out.
But yeah, it was
Brandon.
That's all good. Hey, he's into it, man.
Yeah, no, I'm like, all right, hold on, let Tate go.
This for me, I saw this with my uncle, and like me and him were like super close back then. And this movie was just like once it came out, it was constantly in the oh my god, I don't even know what it is. VCR. I was at the VHS player, the VCR. I mean, it was just nonstop. I mean, there's a line that I want a tattoo of, and because how much it goes, victims, aren't we all? I love that line. Because it's like it just has so many meanings. Like obviously for in the movie had different meaning, and then just like it's just I don't know. That was like one thing that was like, you know, the same thing with like what was it? It can't rain all the time. That was a little bit more corny cliche, but the victims, aren't we all, was just something I was like, damn, I love that line since it came out. So this is almost my entire life. I love that, you know. But I mean, you're saying like all this other stuff this movie did. I think we were talking about Hot Topic in one of our other videos. This movie, The Crow, is the one that started Hot Topic. Like everything else is kind of added on. Hot Topic was created because of The Crow. Like I don't care what you like that whole vibe, the look, the angsty, you know, the emo, the grunge. Like this was if Hot Topic was a movie, you know, and
model.
Or at least it's part of the holy trinity between Nightmare between this Nightmare Before Christmas and what else would you put there? What, Beetlejuice? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely Beetlejuice.
That's the Hot Topic holy trinity.
That's it. That's the
There you go.
I feel like we almost got to keep that as a little short. The Hot Topic holy trinity.
There you go. Yeah.
So all these great things we're saying about The Crow, will it hold up today? When we get this remake, will the remake hold up? And then will this one, if we re-released it, would it hold up and would it be better?
I think,
as you said, 1994, part right in the grunge era. You get 9 Inch Nails, we got Smell Like Teen Spirit. You get all these things. This is what's going on. will it hold up now? Because now we're in 2022, almost 2023.
I'd say it would. I'd even go as far as saying that it still does. It was so influential to a multitude of things, the comic genre, like Zach was saying, a lot of genre, like it bled over into other genres like sci-fi, like with the Matrix, comic book genres like Blade, even the soundtrack, man, still holds up. I actually own the soundtrack and listen to it quite regularly. Probably like Burned by the Cure and is probably my number one favorite song on there. I think that it's still held in high enough regard. So I wouldn't even say it's a question as to whether or not it would hold up, because I think it still kind of lingers over pop culture in so many senses of the word nowadays. So yeah, it still does hold up.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah. I'll go. Yeah, I think it holds up for sure. I mean, the story of just like, a couple that gets murdered before their wedding night, and then he comes back for, vengeance. That's just it's a simple story that I think like most people can kind of get behind. You're like, yeah, kill these bad guys, even though killing is not good. It's kind of just the whole anti-hero thing, which I think is more accepted in today's world, like an anti-hero. Like you can understand why people are mad and they do bad things.
John Wick.
John Wick, perfect example. So
let's face it, you really want to see Eric Draven get these bastards.
Yes. And then they're so douchey, but also I think that was part of the time. In the early 90s, you had like the douchey things. There's one thing me and my buddies would always do when we would get drunk. We're like, fire it up. We'd just be trash shit faced and doing that because but it's like it's I don't know, man. It's just so funny. You're like, yeah, and how he kills them and all this stuff. So I think it definitely holds up. And with the remake, it's gonna be it really is definitely gonna be interesting with a great actor. I mean, you really don't need to change much. Just make it look better.
Yeah, and they have a good visual director. It's I believe it's Rupert Sanders who did the first Snow White and the Huntsman and Ghost in the Shell. Despite what you may think of those movies quality-wise, they're very nice to look at.
Yeah, agreed.
He's not writing the script.
Yeah.
Zach, you agree with them?
I think that the people who love the movie will go see it again. I think there's a lot of things that's so 90s about it that it may turn off some youngins. And I'm like, what the hell is this reference? What's a Walkman? I don't understand this. Where's this iPad? But I would go see it. I know for me, I would go see it. And I think the remake can do amazing if they take cues from like Nobody, John Wick, and things like that, where they have similar stories, revenge stories, make it very stylistic, neon, noir kind of story, and just get a really charismatic actor for the lead role that you can root for. Because if he's doing all these terrible things, you got to find somebody that people want to root to do it.
Yeah, that's why I asked the question, because I felt like the first Crow is 290s. It has to be changed for this era because of the people that the 90s kids are not 2023 kids. That's just not what it is. So if you really want to do well, you couldn't. I don't think this is one of those movies you put back in theaters and then everyone's going to flock to see. 38-year-olds will go see it. The 35 to 40-year-olds will go see it, but they're not where all the money's coming from. The kids are where you got to lock it in. And I believe that's why you have to do the remake. And I think actually the remake will do okay. It's not going to do as well as the original movie because, I mean, honestly, this was an 84 on the Rotten Tomato. It's a 90 for the audience view.
Wow.
It's a 90, guys. So this is like almost one of those perfect movies. It really is. But it's going to be hard to create that same magic. And box office, $94 million. I mean, it's going to be difficult, but I hope they do it well. All right, make it quick, Brandon. Go ahead.
And it's already got a pretty good amount going against itself just for being a remake or a reboot.
Yeah, it's always the death. I'm telling you, the death is going to follow this specific movie around always because it's always something that's going to come back up. Man, he died during this movie, so that's always going to kind of come up. And I don't know if it's a black cloud or not. But as far as a movie, you talk about classic. This is one of the highest ranked rated movies that we're reviewing at all.
Yeah,
this is a great one, and I don't know if we could put it on the same. Where do you rank it? But this obviously is one of the better movies that ever that we're talked about.
Yeah, I gotta watch this movie every Halloween. Like I just even sometimes like if it's randomly I see it, like I scroll past it on like my Vudu or whatever app. I'm like I gotta put it on. Definitely same on TV, but around Halloween I gotta watch it. This is just for me. The nostalgia. Back then and stuff like that. But
so you put it in your top 10?
Oh yeah, it's definitely my top 10.
Brandon, top 10?
Probably, yeah. I could say top 10. Yeah.
Zach, top 10?
Top 5.
There you go.
Whoa.
Yeah. For like Halloween movies, yeah.
Halloween movies.
It's probably top 15 for me. I'm a very cartoon movie person.
Oh, there's a lot of good Halloween. I can see that. Yeah,
that's just what I will go with. But I have a lot of cartoon movies, but this is a very good movie. And I want to hear what you guys think. We're all reading these comments, so please comment, like, subscribe, do all the things we're talking about. I want to see you guys. I want to hear what you guys think. Obviously, I said the audience is a 90%. I know there are a lot of people that love this thing. A lot of people that are going to follow this. Zach, you got anything you want to say before we get out?
Yeah, man. Just follow me on Zach Attack Reviews on my YouTube channel. I do reviews, reactions, ranking lists, and in-depth. So if you like that kind of stuff, check out my channel. And that sounds good, guys. All right. This is another review. We're going to do something else. So we'll see you tomorrow.